Nothing quite says summer in the mountains like the sound of a chainsaw buzzing in the background. But as we take a walk on the property, it's Brian who's practicing the use of his chainsaw mill. He's been turning these beetle kill pine trees into beautiful 1-inch slabs. It's slow and patient work, which Brian has the right temperament for. But it's no secret he's been dreaming of a larger portable sawmill set up for some time. But practicing with a chainsaw mill is giving him the chance to see what he really wants in a larger setup. He's been watching videos, tweaking angles, and getting a real feel for how the grain reacts and how we can make the most out of each log. Ultimately, I think that means something a bit faster with a bit more control. He also recommends not switching out chainsaw fuel brands. So if you want to have a smooth running chainsaw, don't go for the cheap stuff, folks. One exciting thing we'll be doing with the lumber slabs is using them as canvas for dried flower artwork I've been creating. It's a brand new addition to the type of artwork I've been doing, and it seems like the natural next step. Combining the wood that we mill right here with the artwork that I create with the dried flowers that grow on our property. Each piece holds the spirit of our home and will go on to enhance someone else's. It's definitely felt like summer in full swing. The sun has been generous, the greenhouse garden is coming alive, and I've finally had a chance to open up the space for an art class right in the backyard. A flower art workshop, nothing fancy, just time to slow down, paint, and enjoy being outside. Everyone got to create their own piece with flowers they collected right here on the homestead. I definitely think the live edge artwork will be a hit in my upcoming art shows this summer. But back in the greenhouse, we've been moving to the next stage of the build, which is basically another raised bed. So the outer raised bed has been completed, and now we're looking at the layout for planting the central garden bed. Now this one's going to be a little bit shorter, but it will also be about twice as wide. So Brian started outlining the build with measuring, eyeballing the spacing, and figuring out the best layout for planting our fruit trees. So we have 2 trees that will need the most space, a fig tree and a cherry tree. They could get up to 15 feet tall. So we definitely want them out of the pots that they're in now and finally into the ground where they can have better drainage and spread their roots out into their permanent home. And it's always a little bit nerve-wracking to commit to planting a tree. You want it to thrive, and you're trying to imagine it in 5 years, 10 years. You're just hoping that it loves the garden dome as much as we do. We wanted to get the trees under the center of the dome as much as possible so that they could have the most potential to grow because it's 16 feet at the center. But we definitely had to space the trees apart. So we got them about 6 feet apart. And so that's hopefully going to give them plenty of room for each of them to grow into bigger trees. The fig tree was pretty easy. It's a stout little tree. It's super durable. It didn't seem to mind getting planted. But the cherry tree, on the other hand, it was almost twice the size. It's already grown quite a bit in the pot, and it definitely got a little bit root bound. So it was a little bit more fragile as far as transplanting it out of the pot into the ground. Checking on it the next day, it was still a little bit wilted, but it definitely suffered a little bit more than the fig tree. But I think in a couple of weeks, it'll definitely bounce back and look really awesome. I can't wait to see how they grow now that they're out of the pots. So definitely excited for that phase. And I did pick up a couple of other tiny citrus trees this past week, a Meyer lemon and a dwarf mandarin orange. They're fine to stay in their pots because of their dwarf size. They'll probably be in a little bit larger, maybe 20-gallon pots versus the 15-gallon that they're in. Might even look at a little bit sizing that up a little bit. But since they are a bit more sensitive, if we ever felt like we need to move them out of the greenhouse to protect them from a hard freeze, we'll definitely have that option. So, and it's hard to believe, and I was just thrilled that these were only $50 a piece at Home Depot. And I've also been adding a few more plants to the raised beds. I'm definitely turning into a plant lady, and Brian loves tomatoes, so I just had to get a few more plants in while they were still in stock. And since we had so many wood shavings from the milling and the planing of the wood, I figured they'd be a good solution for mulch. When the sun is out, the surface of the beds can dry up quickly, and this is a nice fragrant way to sort
So
of
that's the
pack
quick
in those
update
tomato
from the
roots
Homestead,
so that
folks.
they keep the
Not
moisture
a whole lot
in.
of time this weekend to share, but hopefully we'll be able to give you a broader update next weekend. Bye-bye.